In the hallowed halls of British royalty, where tradition meets turmoil, one man's fall from grace has reached a point of no return. Prince Andrew, the Duke of York, once third in line to the throne, has just crossed a line so disgraceful that even the crown itself can no longer look away. What he's done now has shocked the nation, embarrassed the monarchy, and forced King Charles III into the most difficult decision of his reign. This is the story of how a prince became a pariah, and why the king must finally make the move that everyone's been waiting for. To understand how far Andrew has fallen, we need to go back to where it all began. Born on February 19, 1960, Andrew Albert Christian Edward was Queen Elizabeth's favorite son. Unlike the dutiful Charles or the rebellious, Andrew was the golden child, the one who could do no wrong in his mother's eyes. He served as a helicopter pilot in the Falklands War in 1982, earning genuine respect as a military man. The press called him a war hero. Women found him charming. He married Sarah Ferguson in a fairy tale wedding watched by millions. For a time, Andrew seemed destined for a life of honor and service. But behind the medals and the smiles, a darker pattern was forming. Andrew developed a reputation for arrogance, a sense of entitlement that grew with each passing year. Palace staff whispered about his demands, his temper, his belief that rules didn't apply to him. Friends noticed his attraction to wealth, to luxury, to powerful men who could give him access to a lifestyle befitting a prince. One of those men was Jeffrey Epstein. The year was 1999 when Prince Andrew first met Jeffrey Epstein through Ghislaine Maxwell, the British socialite who would later be convicted as Epstein's accomplice. What followed was a friendship that would ultimately destroy Andrew's reputation forever. Epstein was a convicted sex offender, a financier with dark secrets and powerful connections. But Andrew didn't seem to care. He flew on Epstein's private jet, stayed at his mansions in New York and Palm Beach, visited his private island. Even after Epstein's 2008 conviction for soliciting prostitution from a minor, Andrew maintained contact. Then came the allegations that shook the world. Virginia Giuffre, one of Epstein's victims, made a stunning claim. She had been trafficked to Prince Andrew when she was just 17 years old. She said she was forced to have sexual encounters with the prince on 3 separate occasions, in London, New York, and on Epstein's island. Andrew denied everything. But the photograph emerged, the one that would become infamous worldwide. Andrew with his arm around a teenage Virginia Giuffre, Ghislaine Maxwell smiling in the background. The image that he would later incredibly claim might have been fake. The palace issued denials. Andrew stayed quiet. The storm seemed to pass. But it was only the calm before the hurricane. November 16, 2019. A date that will live in royal infamy. Against the advice of virtually everyone around him, Prince Andrew sat down with BBC journalist Emily Maitlis for what he believed would be an interview to clear his name. Instead, it became a masterclass in self-destruction. For 49 excruciating minutes, the world watched as Andrew made excuse after bizarre excuse. He claimed he couldn't have been with Virginia Giuffre in London because he was at a Pizza Express in Woking with his daughter. He said he couldn't have been sweating at a nightclub with her because he had a medical condition from the Falklands War that prevented him from sweating. He showed no empathy for Epstein's victims, no remorse, no understanding of how his words sounded to a horrified public. The reaction was immediate and devastating. Within days, major charities began cutting ties with Andrew. Universities distanced themselves. Corporate sponsors fled. The palace was in crisis mode. Even the Queen, his greatest protector, could no longer shield him from the consequences. In a statement released just days after the interview, Andrew announced he was stepping back from public duties for the foreseeable future. It was supposed to be temporary. If Andrew thought his troubles were over, 2021 proved him catastrophically wrong. Virginia Giuffre filed a civil lawsuit against him in New York, seeking unspecified damages for sexual abuse. The legal walls were closing in. Andrew's lawyers fought to have the case dismissed, arguing technicalities, jurisdiction issues, anything to avoid a trial. But the case moved forward. The pressure mounted. A trial would mean depositions, testimony, evidence presented in open court. It would mean Andrew facing his accuser under oath. The risk was too great, the potential for further humiliation too high. In February 2022, Andrew agreed to settle the case. While admitting no liability, He reportedly paid approximately £12 million to Virginia Giuffre. The money came partly from the sale of his Swiss chalet, and reportedly, from the Queen herself. It was a staggering fall. From war hero to exiled prince, paying millions to make allegations of sexual abuse go away. But even this wasn't the bottom. And now, in 2026, Prince Andrew has reached what many are calling his most shameful moment yet. Recent reports have revealed that despite losing his royal titles, his military honors, and his public role, Andrew has been desperately clinging to the trappings of his former life. He's been refusing to vacate Royal Lodge, the 30-room mansion in Windsor that he's occupied for years, even as King Charles has asked him repeatedly to move to more modest accommodations. But it gets worse. Sources close to the palace have disclosed that Andrew has been attempting to rehabilitate his image, seeking ways to return to public life, pressuring the king for a pathway back to royal duties. He's been reportedly telling friends that he's been treated unfairly, that he deserves another chance, that the monarchy needs him. The audacity is breathtaking. The lack of self-awareness, stunning. He's shown no genuine accountability, no real understanding of the pain his actions have caused. Instead, he's focused on what he's lost, what he believes he's owed, what he thinks he deserves. And the British public has had enough. Social media has exploded with outrage. Hashtags demanding Andrew's complete removal from any royal connection trend daily. Victims' advocates have condemned any suggestion of his return to public life as an insult to survivors of sexual abuse everywhere. Even traditionally royalist newspapers have turned against him. Columnists who once defended the monarchy now write scathing pieces about Andrew's continued presence as a stain on the crown. The answer, according to royal experts, constitutional scholars, and an overwhelming majority of the British public, is clear. King Charles must formally and publicly sever all remaining ties between Prince Andrew and the royal family. This means more than Andrew has already lost. It means removing his remaining royal title of Duke of York completely, ending all taxpayer-funded security, evicting him from Royal Lodge and any other crown properties, making an official statement that Andrew will never, under any circumstances, return to public life as a member of the royal family. It's a move that would be unprecedented in modern royal history. But these are unprecedented circumstances. The monarchy has survived scandals before, from abdications to divorces to tragic deaths. It survives by adapting, by showing it can hold itself to the same standards it expects of others. Andrew has had chance after chance. He's squandered every single one. As rain continues to fall over Windsor Castle, King Charles faces the most important decision of his young reign. Will he have the courage to do what his mother, for all her wisdom and devotion, could never bring herself to do? Will he finally cut Andrew loose completely, send the message that no one, not even a prince, is above accountability? Or will he hesitate, compromise, and watch as his brother's disgrace continues to tarnish the crown that Charles waited his entire life to wear? The British people are watching. The world is watching. And Prince Andrew's latest shameful behavior has made one thing absolutely clear. The time for half measures is over. The king must act. And he must act now.